Welcome to the video. I'm back with some more boxing from across the world. Robert, the Ghost Guerrero, is going up against Danny Swift Garcia. Garcia is 31-0, 18 KOs. Garcia is a great fighter. Swift, cool, has a lot of finesse. You know, he's 27 years old. He's young and effective. He's 5'8.5", 68.5 reach. Fights out of Philly, Pennsylvania. The Ghost, as we all know, 33-3 with one draw, 18 KOs. His KO rating is 46%. Danny Garcia is at 58%. Great fight here. The Ghost is 5'8", a little bit shorter than Danny. His reach is 70, a little bit longer than Danny's. Swift versus the Ghost. Usually, when I get into it and I speak about boxing, I love to compare their records. Some people disagree. Some people agree. I say styles make fights, and let me explain to you. Robert the Ghost Guerrero is a guy who's fought many people and has moved up in divisions, and for sure is an effective fighter. However, he is not undefeated and has been beaten before, more than most people know. Robert the Ghost Guerrero fought a man by the name of Gamaliel Diaz, who was 19-5 and 2. This man defeated Robert the Ghost Guerrero by split decision. As we continue up, Ghost, he fought a man that we all know, Orlando Solito. Very dangerous. The judges clearly had it for Solito. And in my eyes, Solito clearly won the fight. 118, 110, 117, 111, 115, 113. However, Solito was tested positive for steroids. Results changed. NSAC. Now, I understand that occurred. However, Solito was totally dominating Guerrero and exposed Guerrero's weaknesses in that fight, just as Gamaliel Diaz, right? And now, as we continue up his record, he also fought another man that we all know, that was a very dangerous fighter. Hands down, you know, Floyd Mayweather Jr., who remains undefeated, who showed many weaknesses in Robert the Ghost Guerrero's defense, and showed how ineffective his offense can be if the opponent moves and uses the ring and his reach to his advantage. These next two people that I'm going to talk about is Keith One-Time Thurman. One Time was able to nullify Robert the Ghost Guerrero for 10 rounds. Even you can even say 11 rounds. Guerrero came back in the 12th round. As we all know, Keith Thurman won that by unanimous decision. One judge had it 120-107. You know, it was total domination by Keith Thurman. That's another blueprint on how to beat Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Evan Martinez, which was the next opponent after Keith Thurman, showed how if you smother the ghost, he's not a ghost anymore. Guerrero was down the 4th round against Aaron Martinez. Martinez was real aggressive, stayed within range of his opponent, applied excessive, effective pressure, and it was significant. It was significantly different from a lot of fighters who fought him. It was different from the method that Keith Thurman used. It was similar to the method that Solito used. And I believe Aaron Martinez won that fight, and many people agree with me. It was a split decision win. too close to be a split decision. I believe more of a draw should have been the decision. With that being said, we're going to talk about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is undefeated. He's also has a good record. He's 31-0 with 18 KOs. However, let's go through his record. He just recently defeated Paulie Malignaggi. However, the fight before that, he fought Lamont Peterson, and it was very controversial. As a matter of fact, based on pictures and video footage, you can tell that Lamont Peterson put a number on Danny Swift Garcia. Mr. Swift had to have Dolce & Gabbana glasses worn throughout the press conference, the post-fight press conference, due to the fact that his eyes were not as swift as they were supposed to be. Lamont Peterson, which a lot of people felt was robbed in that fight against Danny the Swift Garcia. They just had it 114, 114, 115, 113, 115, 113 for a very controversial majority decision. Two fights prior to that, right? He fought Mauricio Herrera. And one judge had it 114, 114. The other two judges had 116, 112. However, this was also a very controversial decision that many people till this day still argue in barbershops, in stores, and local radio stations, also online, that Mauricio Herrera defeated Danny Swift Garcia. Another controversial victory. Danny Garcia has another fight on his record, which a lot of people believe it was his luckiest fight. And still to this day, the boxing community online and the boxing community, the boxing world, still every day petition for a rematch between Amir Khan and Danny Garcia. Amir Khan was totally dominating Danny Garcia until Danny Garcia laid a devastating shot with his eyes closed on Amir Khan's chin. And after that, Danny Garcia took over the fight and won. However, before that, it was a total domination by Amir Khan. And many people believe that this rematch is necessary due to the fact that Danny Garcia landed a shot with his eyes completely closed. These two men have a lot to prove in this fight. There is more at stake than anyone who was viewing and listening can imagine. This fight will prove where they belong in history. It took me a while to make this video. I really was interested in seeing the media workout before I made these videos about this fight, because I knew that this was a high stake fight. Okay, this is for the title for the WBC welterweight championship of the world. Okay, the Ghost Garcia would bring it like he always does. He'll use his range to his advantage and keep Danny Garcia at bay. As we've seen in several fights with Danny Garcia, that he has a hard time with fast hands and reach. Anybody with fast hands and reach and movement can defeat Danny Garcia. Lamont Peterson effectively used his reach and his movement to frustrate Danny Garcia for 12 rounds. Danny Garcia was given a gift by the judges. Mauricio Herrera uses his pesky style, moving around the ring and effectively landing shots and brushing off power shots that were attempted by Danny Garcia. Robert the Ghost Guerrero will pick up on this, and for sure will learn from the mistakes that other opponents made against Danny Garcia and benefit off of them. The Ghost must stay away from these power shots. He must utilize his movement to the best of his ability. I know that he will use his Mexican style and go in. However, he needs to stay away from Danny Garcia's power shots. Because even if Danny Garcia throws with his eyes closed and he lands, he has enough power to take you out. These are the key things that Robert the Ghost Guerrero must do. He must be the ghost in the ring. Use movement, use his reach to his advantage. However, Danny Garcia is a hunter. He's a predator. He is very, very dangerous. The reason why he has so many controversy wins is due to the fact that those opponents were running. And then finally, Danny Garcia got them. And when he did, he hurt them. His most controversy win was against Lamont Peterson, who is considered to be known Mr. Juiced. Danny Garcia has proven himself by being undefeated and doing what Floyd Mayweather did at 147, at 140. And Danny Garcia is here to do it at 147. This won't be a controversy win or a controversy loss. Danny Garcia's KO speak for itself. He barely leaves it up to the judges. It's usually when they move is when they have any chance of beating Danny Garcia. And even when they move, Danny Garcia still catches him. What Danny Garcia must do against Robert the Ghost Guerrero is cut the ring. Don't allow him to use his movement or his reach to his advantage at any chance, at any point, at any time in the ring at all. Be effective. Be the predator that you've always been. The Ghost, when we've seen against Keith Thurman, he had a lot of trouble fighting a predator. We've seen it against Aaron Martinez. He had a lot of trouble fighting a predator. We've seen it against Orlando Salido. He had a lot of trouble fighting a guy who wants to stay in his face and throw punches and is not afraid of him. Danny Garcia fears no one. And he's out for the crown, that WBC crown. Robert the Ghost Guerrero is the perfect opponent for Danny Garcia because the Ghost has everything to lose here. He has to win this fight. And this is the perfect opponent for Danny Garcia to prove to the 147 division that he's here to stay and he's taking over. He's going to defeat the Ghost. I believe that Danny Garcia is going to put Robert the Ghost Guerrero on the path of retirement. I believe, based on the media workout and the hype leading up to this fight, that Danny Garcia is going to make an example out of Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Keith Thurman did not finish the Ghost. However, Danny Garcia will finish the Ghost in 6 rounds. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Danny Garcia for round 6 KO. Out of all the negative things that they say about Danny Garcia has been put in positions where he's supposed to lose these fights, and he wins them. Robert the Ghost Guerrero is put in positions where he's supposed to win those fights, and he loses them. This is the difference between Danny Garcia and Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Okay? Guerrero has been given many chances. I believe this is Guerrero's last chance. His last chance before becoming a permanent journeyman. Don't get me wrong. Robert the Ghost Guerrero has the skills to defeat Danny Garcia. But does he have the heart? Does he have the brain? Does he want to? When he came back against Keith Thurman, he could have won the Keith Thurman fight. But he didn't. Keith Thurman was more aggressive. Keith Thurman wanted it more than the Ghost did. We've seen it in the Aaron Martinez fight. Aaron Martinez wanted to win more than Robert the Ghost Guerrero. The rumors have it that Ghost is a shot fighter. Robert Guerrero is a shot fighter. And like I said, I'm a fan of boxing. I don't want to speak too negative about people. But I noticed that, he was shot in the Aaron Martinez fight. He was definitely a shot fighter in that fight. He did not fight the way I expected him to fight or the way I've seen the Ghost fight before. There's a time where all good things come to an end. When a champion has to pass the torch. In this story, Robert the Ghost Guerrero is now just a shadow of his former self. And it's time to pass the torch to Danny Garcia. Until next time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's UFC, MMA, boxing, WWE.